Well, first of all, Marcus, the night after the end of season awards, Liam Sercombe, Bristol Rovers Player of the Year. What contribution has he made to the team in his first campaign at the club?
Off the back of last night, it was definitely the Cambridge goal, that's for sure, because they showed that about 20 times. But they showed a lot of his strengths with scoring goals, but he's a lot more than that. You know, Liam's got fantastic work rate. He wants to run past people with and without the ball, and he's prepared to run back in to defend. So, you know, last night obviously they're going to show the glamorous side of the game to entertain people, but he does a lot more of the ugly side of the game as well than people saw last night. So not only that, he's popular amongst the lads as well, which is very important, and that helps with votes, of course. So yeah, he adds a lot of value to the team. Yeah,
I won't ask you who your Player of the Year is, but
it was Liam Sercombe.
Liam Sercombe as well, was it?
No.
But there are a few contenders. I mean, Ellis could easily have won it, and no one would have complained about that as well.
I said there's a few that could have won it. You know, Chris Lyons has had a good season. You know, there's a lot on level par for me, but you know, you can only choose one, can't you? Well, the players can only choose one.
The season is almost over. How do you assess the campaign as a whole?
I think, you know, barring our middle period before Christmas, I think it was, the manager mentioned last night, it was November, was it November, October, November?
Yeah.
I don't remember it, but that bad period I think has been pretty good, really. I know results recently haven't been, we haven't got the wins probably we've deserved, but we've played some tough teams that are up there, and you know, it's a strange part of the season where all those teams are playing for something. We haven't been, I suppose, for the last 3 games. So to motivate ourselves and to go out and perform like we have done on a pitch that's looked better as the season comes to a close, proves that if we do get a decent service, we can play well against the teams that are going to be up there. Did Tuesday show you need to be more clinical in front of goal? Of course, yeah, of course. You know, that's why strikers get paid the most money. Forward players get paid the most money because that's where the pressure is, and that's where the technique is, and that's where it all counts.
Lee Brown, 7 years at the club. It's his final appearance. How highly do we regard Lee Brown in his time at Bristol Rovers? Is he up there with some of the legends?
For me, he's I've worked. It's a bit biased, I suppose, because as soon as I come into this club, I kind of took not him, but him and Michael Smith at the time weren't really playing a lot. They were in and out, playing left wing, sometimes leaded. Sometimes they were in my team in the under-21s reserves at the time it was. So I've got a lot of history with Lee, and all that history is positive. And so I'm going to be biased in terms and say that he's probably one of the most important players that this club has had in its history, in terms of the kind of attitude he had to show to help get this club back on track. And he epitomised what we needed at the time. Like the manager said last night at the awards, there was 1 or 2 that, you know, we couldn't wait to get out the door, if I'm honest with you, and Lee was the 1 or 2 that we couldn't wait to sign because of the way he approached the game, and he had a game in which he's strong at, in which we wanted to add to this club, and that was legs, enthusiasm, and a footballing brain. As a left back, he was an attacking left back, and that's what we wanted, and he fitted the bill perfectly, along with his attitude and his team ethic. That's what he was all about.
Is it going to be hard to replace him, not only on the pitch but in the dressing room as well?
Yeah, because, you know, he's such a model pro in terms of how he goes about his business. He doesn't very rarely misses training, so when he does miss training, you know there's something wrong with him. He doesn't make an excuse to miss training. So those sort of players are very important to this club. You have to train, want to train on the grass. I don't mean in the gym, I mean on the grass. And he was one of those. He trained on the grass to do his gym work. Not training was a gym day and not doing any grass work. So Lee was generally both. So you'll miss that, you know, because that kind of influence, that kind of attitude, you hope would rub off on 1 or 2 players. So if we get the right person in, you know, that kind of attitude has to be paramount, to still rub off on one or two players that are in and around the squad. Whereas if we lose Lee, that's one or two players he's also not affecting in a positive manner. So he's not only him is affecting one or two members in the squad. So that's why it's important to replace those type of players with the same sort of qualities if we can.
And how do we assess Gillingham? I think they're having a bit of a slump at the moment, but they gave you a good beating earlier this season, so they're capable on their day.
Yeah, I mean, they were going for a good spell at the time. They scored some good goals, of course. Any team on their day, they're still not mathematically out of trouble. So they'll be coming here looking for that point, that final win that they need to be able to go into the last game, under a little bit of pressure, because if they don't get a result here, that's what will be happening. So yeah, it's a game that we perform well on Tuesday ourselves, and we have to, I think, take that performance into a Saturday game against Gillingham. We have no problem psychologically getting ourselves up for those sort of games against Wigan, Blackburn, Rotherham. It's now trying to finish the season on a high, which generally takes you into next season, and how you perform and how you come in psychologically on the front foot if you can.
And as Gas heads go on their summer holidays, should they be confident about next season and the prospects over the next 12 months?
Of course, we're always trying to evolve this club, and if that means players going, players coming, that's what it's all about. And we like to keep the core element of this group of lads, because we feel that those other clubs that can, the players that can pass on, what this club's all about when new lads come in. So we feel that's important, but we need to, we obviously need to get the left back in. So we need to get 3, 4, 5 players in that will come in and fit into this group and this mentality, like we always do. And we try our best to get the right player. Sometimes it doesn't always work like that. You don't always get the right player, and we're honest enough with that. But we try to, because it's important that we do, because we need to keep the fans on our side. And I think we've kept the fans on our side because of the way the lads go about their business and the way we do as staff, I suppose.
Thank you.